Now at 5, why property tax assessments are jumping in Jasper County and how the pandemic still plays a role. Plus, a small town theater with big heart. Why the Lamar Plaza continues to draw crowds decades later. And
President Trump touts a tentative trade deal with China. I'm Erica Brown at the White House with more on that and the federal response to immigration enforcement protests.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Residents across Missouri are receiving their property value assessments, and in Jasper County, homeowners are seeing those values go up. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. The State Tax Commission is requiring bigger assessment increases this year, averaging between 13 and 15% in Jasper County. That's because the county, like dozens of others, is out of compliance with the state. It means the county's appraised value isn't as close to actual market value as required. The county assessor says the changes are connected to the COVID pandemic, which impacted property values across the state.
There should have been a greater increase in 2021 and in 2023, and that did not happen because we rode out the market to see what would happen with COVID, and that put us behind. If you want to appeal your valuation, you have until June 23rd to reach out to the county assessor's office for an informal hearing. Tonight on KOAM News at 10, we're going to have more about the impact on property taxes. Right now, though, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty for our first look at the weather.
Well, definitely turned out to be a decent Wednesday for us today. A lot of clouds have been increasing across the region over the past several hours, and you can see some showers, even some thunderstorms down to our south, kind of lifting in our direction. We do have some spotty little thunderstorms, and these will pick up as we continue through the evening into the overnight hours. This is all due to an upper level wave that is lifting or very slowly moving off toward the north and to the east. But what this will do for us over the next few days is give us scattered showers and a few thunderstorms. Nothing looks too strong or severe, but you can see our greater chances pushing through as we go into Thursday. So through the evening into the overnight hours, here's about midnight, scattered showers and thunderstorms a little bit more widespread, picking up and pushing through the region. This is what we're going to see on Thursday and Friday as well. We're going to be talking about that here in just a bit.
All right, we'll see you soon. Now, after the rains recently, there's a lot of debris on Oklahoma's Grand Lake. But as of right now, Thunder on the River boats races are still scheduled for this coming Saturday and Sunday. It's part of the Grand Summer Festival, now in its 7th year at Wolf Creek on Grand Lake. Crews and working to get everything set up and going.
We started Toes in the Grand to give people something fun to do, to get people out. We have marketed it to actually the whole nation at some points, and we get people from all over it.
Toes in the Grand will start tomorrow with the boat race practice. Lamar Plaza Theater is lighting up the summer again. Since 1934, it's been more than just a place to catch a show. Some community members say it's been a resilient heartbeat of the community, surviving the test of time. And this year, attendance is on the rise. So what's the secret behind its lasting charm? Well, we hit the streets and spoke with some locals to find out what keeps the curtains rising.
The atmosphere, they don't make movie theaters like this anymore. This one's been here since 1934. Still has the original hand-painted murals on the walls, and the texture and everything is pretty much the same as it's been.
Favorite part is getting to see the kids this excited about movies, and I've never heard them giggle like they're giggling today.
It's free to attend the theater. You can donate. However, area businesses also help fund the building. President Trump is touting a trade deal with China as his administration continues to defend its decision to send National Guard troops and Marines to Los Angeles in the wake of protests against ICE raids there. Erica Brown has the latest.
After 2 days of negotiations between the U.S. and Chinese trade representatives, President Trump declared in a social media post Wednesday that a trade deal with China is done, while acknowledging both he and Chinese President Xi Jinping still have to approve a final agreement.
He spoke to his trade team, who did a fantastic job negotiating this on behalf of the United States and meeting with their Chinese counterparts. The president is talking to them about the details of it now, but what the president heard, he liked.
The president said the U.S. will keep a 55% tariff on Chinese imports, while China will keep a 10% tariff on American goods. Trump also said Beijing will supply the U.S. with magnets and rare earth minerals, which are vital to a number of industries.
This is an American agreement. If you're an American company and you need magnets, they are going to approve it right away, which is what we needed.
Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick told CNBC China agreed to do more business with the U.S., including buying more U.S. agriculture and equipment. The White House is also doubling down on President Trump's decision to send National Guard troops and Marines to Los Angeles in response to protests over immigration enforcement raids.
President Trump will never allow mob rule to prevail in America.
The Trump administration says the troops are providing protection for federal agents as they carry out immigration raids.
It's the right decision to be deploying the National Guard in Los Angeles to defend ICE agents.
The White House says the protests will not deter ICE from enforcing President Trump's mass deportation policy. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
The White House press secretary said 330 undocumented migrants have been detained during the recent immigration enforcement operations in Los Angeles. Beach Boys co-founder Brian Wilson has died. Wilson created some of rock's most enduring songs, such as Good Vibrations and God Only Knows, in a career that was marked by a decades-long battle between his musical genius, drug abuse, and mental health issues. Wilson's family announced his death in a statement on the singer's website, but did not disclose the cause of death. Brian Wilson was 82. We're inviting people to tell us their favorite Beach Boys song on the KOAM News Now Facebook page. Still ahead, the latest on inflation.
Grocery prices are up, but gas prices are down. I'm Kelly O'Grady at the New York Stock Exchange with the latest inflation report and what it tells us about the impact of tariffs.
But first, a hospital turned classroom, how teddy bears, ambulances, and x-rays are helping young students learn about healthcare without the fear. Topping today's Health Watch, sensory perception could be equally important indicators as memory functions for people who develop dementia. According to a group of researchers, the approach to care and support for people with dementia should address both memory functions as well as taste, touch, balance, hearing, or vision, because the condition also impairs those factors. The researchers encourage healthcare providers to be aware when patients report changes in how they perceive their environment. New research shows babies with serious health problems in the first weeks of life are at a higher risk of dying during childhood into adolescence. The study in JAMA Pediatrics looked at more than 2 million children in Sweden. Children with neurological health problems had the highest risk of dying. Researchers say while risk of death is increased, the majority of newborns with serious health issues will survive to adulthood. Making medicine in hospitals a lot less scary for kids. Stephanie Stahl reports on a special visit for some elementary school students.
It's a different kind of field trip for these kindergarten students, seeing inside an ambulance and then inside a hospital.
Is she here for a checkup? Yeah, all right.
It's Cooper Hospital's annual Teddy Bears to the Rescue event.
Arm's broken? Oh, no. All right, well, we're going to take very good care of your teddy bear. Okay.
Here, teddy bears become patients and the medical staff guide the students through diagnosing and treating them using real medical tools and equipment, showing things like x-rays and heart imaging.
He's got a good, strong heartbeat. Oh, he sounds much better. All right, I think the treatment worked.
This helps to increase their familiarity, get comfortable with who they might be seeing in the event they ever have to come back. We help to ease their anxiety around coming to the hospital.
6-year-old Messiah named his teddy Blueberry.
He went outside without a coat. and then got sick.
This group imagined all kinds of situations.
She was climbing on a palm tree and she fell off. She was riding her scooter without a helmet, and then she fell off and then she broke her leg.
Good job. You want to wheel them around? Go ahead.
A physical therapist explained why wheelchairs and crutches are sometimes necessary.
The coolest part is just getting to work with the kids, getting them comfortable being here, getting to teach them, what we do every day.
If you don't know how to swim, that you're wearing a life jacket, right?
Along with some prevention lessons like swimming safety, these students also learned about staying healthy and away from the hospital. Stephanie Stahl, CBS News, Philadelphia.
And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, our pet vet on call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Judik from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we've got a fun fact about cat paws.
But first, Doug returns next with a complete look at your forecast.
It definitely turned out to be a pretty good Wednesday for us today. Temperatures still warm as most of us went into the mid 80s for afternoon highs, but a lot of upper level clouds kind of streaming in. You can see kind of fanning in over the past several hours. And we're going to see a lot of clouds tonight, tomorrow, into Friday, and then we'll start to see some sunshine returning as we head into the weekend. But we have an upper level low kind of lifting off toward the north, and we do have some spotty little thunderstorms, and we are going to see those out there as we go through the evening into the overnight hours for us tonight. But as this upper level low kind of lifts toward us, we're going to see the clouds, and we're going to see those scattered showers and a few thunder showers across the region. It shouldn't be anything too strong or severe, which is definitely good news. All right, so let's go into Thursday night. You can see this little circle here. That's our upper level wave, kind of lifts toward the north and to the east as we head into the weekend. But there's an area of high pressure back to the southwest, so we get these waves that kind of rotate around it, and with it, we'll have some at least slight chances for some hit and miss storms on Saturday and Sunday. Another wave kind of brushes by on Monday into Tuesday, and then we'll have another system that kicks out by the middle of next week. So it is going to keep those rain chances in the forecast. Much higher chances heading into Thursday. You can see scattered showers across the region into Thursday night and even into Friday. I think our chances will start to trail off a little bit once we get into Friday afternoon, as that kind of projects us into the weekend. All right, let me walk you through time. So through the rest of the evening into the overnight hours, clouds, scattered showers, and thunderstorms. Again, nothing too strong, but there is going to be some thunder and lightning out there. As we go through Thursday morning, mostly cloudy skies, hit and miss, scattered showers, probably pumping up a little bit once we get into the afternoon with a little instability. So some hit and miss, scattered thunderstorms. So here's Thursday afternoon. Let's go through Thursday evening, still mostly cloudy. Scattered showers across the region. We continue this trend as we go into Thursday night. So here's about midnight, so lifting back in once again as we go into Friday morning, and then finally by Friday afternoon, some of this rain will start to rotate off toward the east. How much rain can we get? Of course, the ground is super saturated. I think a lot of areas, quarter of an inch, half an inch, but we are going to see some areas that get some isolated higher amounts. So we shouldn't have to deal with flash flooding, but of course, it's going to be wet outside. 67 in the morning, 73 by noon. A little bit cooler on Thursday due to those showers and thunderstorms pushing through. And for the rest of the evening into the morning hours, temperatures kind of drop back into the mid 60s for overnight lows. All right, by Friday, still scattered showers and thunderstorms, high temp of 80. I think most of the weekend's going to be dry. We are going to have a random little thunderstorm, but most of us are going to be dry. But look at the heat starting to kick in by next week. We warm into lower 90s by next Tuesday.
Doug, thanks. Coming up, grocery prices tick up, but gas and eggs drop. What the latest inflation report means for your wallet. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the latest snapshot on inflation shows prices edging higher, but not as much as expected. The government's report signals that so far tariffs are not having a broad impact on consumers. Kelly O'Grady has the story from the New York Stock Exchange.
Prices at the grocery store ticked higher as inflation picked up slightly last month. The Consumer Price Index rose 2.4% in May compared to a year ago. That's up from a 2.3% yearly increase in April. But while groceries edged higher overall, egg prices dropped, as did gasoline, and increases in rent slowed down.
Those prices were increasing month after month since the pandemic reopening. We are starting to see that the rate of increase of shelter prices is decelerating. And that's really good news because you spend so much of your monthly budget on your house, on your apartment.
The inflation report signals that President Trump's tariffs have not had a broad impact on consumer goods, but some sectors are feeling the pain. Detroit Axle says tariffs on auto parts might force the store out of business.
They've been around a long time, and there's a lot of people who come here and depend upon them to get their parts for their vehicles.
President Trump said the inflation report showed great numbers and called on the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates by a full point.
The Federal Reserve will meet next week, and despite the urging by the president to lower interest rates, it is highly unlikely that the Fed will do anything when it comes to interest rates next week.
Overall, the government's report was better than expected, calming nerves here at the New York Stock Exchange. But inflation is still higher than the Federal Reserve's 2% target, and with tariffs at the highest level in decades, some economists predict that prices will continue to rise through the end of the year. Kelly O'Grady, CBS News, New York.
Again, the Federal Reserve is set to meet next week to review its monetary policy. The World Bank issued a new forecast saying it expects lower economic growth around the world this year. Without mentioning President Trump by name, the International Development Organization cited a, quote, substantial rise in trade barriers. The World Bank predicted that the U.S. economy would grow by 1.4% this year, half as fast as it did last year. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley introduced legislation to raise the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. The Higher Wages for American Workers Act would increase the minimum wage standard starting in 2026 and also call for increases in subsequent years to match inflation. A final check of the forecast up next.
Hit and miss scattered showers, even a few thunderstorms for us tonight, especially after midnight. And we're going to have periods of showers and thunderstorms for us on Thursday. Mostly cloudy skies, a little bit cooler, still warm. High temp of 81. Pretty much a carbon copy on Friday. And then we start to dry out, just a random storm as we head into the weekend. And we also start to heat up.
Doug, thanks. Up next on the CBS Evening News, remembering Brian Wilson, the songwriting genius of the Beach Boys. Then on KOAM News at 6, sentencing for a woman accused of murders in Missouri and Arkansas. Plus a closer look at the historic Lamar Plaza Theater. And several of our local high school softball players receive all-state honors. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Evidence suggests people began domesticating cats more than 10,000 years ago in the Middle East. Even though humans and cats have developed a close relationship over the millennia, there might be a few things you still don't know about those cats. Today, our pet vet on call has a fun fact about cat paws.
All species of cats, except the cheetah, which that's a whole nother story, have thick, cushy pads on their feet, and they have retractable claws. And this gives them two vital advantages. Number one, those soft pads allow them to be stealthy and quiet and sneak up on prey. And then they use their claws, which are curved, sharp, and very hard to catch their prey and hold it while they eat it, ensuring that they get the meal.
You know, we invite questions from anyone. If you have a question, you just send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question, or like today, brings us a fun fact. Comes every Wednesday on KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. All right, let's check out our picks of the litter for the week. This time, a couple of cats with paws and everything. From the Joplin Humane Society, we've chosen Apollo, a beautiful adult male short hair there, the black and white cat you see. And from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, a 2-year-old male named Sherlock, who the society says is very smart, likes trying to figure out those feather toys. If you're looking for a pet, why not at least check out your local Humane Society? Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.